Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy Truth,
It's your boy Eazy.
and welcome to Truth and Easy.
Motherfucker, do you know what just released, motherfucker?
What just released?
Beauty Behind the Madness.
Beauty Behind the Madness
by the
Weeknd.
So, we're pretty big Weeknd fans, safe
Very
to say.
big.
I loved every single one of his projects. I loved Kissland, I Don't Give a Fuck, and I love Trilogy, which is an amalgamation of all of his.
House of Balloons, Thursday, Echoes of Sounds for people who don't know.
And this man is on some other shit. A lot of people have been highly critical of the kid because, he started off with a very dark sound, talking about drugs and
Sex, women,
all that shit.
lust, all that.
And honestly, a lot of the shit he sings about still is still about that. It just like has a different sound.
It has a different tone to it.
When I can't feel my face came out, people were like, oh my god, what is this? Why isn't Weeknd trying to kill himself on this song? It's like he's literally talking about feeling numb due to a drug or a girl. Like,
it just has that pop sound to it,
he's bringing the best of both worlds. Shout out to Hannah Montana.
Anyways, Beauty Behind the Madness, second album, the follow-up to Kissland. It's been almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years to the day.
To the day that he dropped that last album. And today we're going to review Beauty Behind the Madness.
It doesn't feel real, man.
It doesn't.
Out.
Oh, man. First time listening to it, I was blown away. And I told you, I was just shocked with what I heard with this album.
My first time listening to it, I was blown away. I fucking fell in love with it. I was like, oh my god, this is album of the year. I went crazy. However, listening to it more, it doesn't hold the same effect on me.
Really?
I honestly feel like the album is still good. I still like every song on the album, but it doesn't hold me like I thought it would have. Because when I first listened to it, I was like, this shit slaps. This shit's gonna bump every fucking day, and really, it hasn't.
So when it comes to this album, do you feel like it's gonna be heavy rotation for you?
No. I like the album, but I don't love it. I think it's good, but I guess my expectations of the Weeknd
were really skyrocketing when it came out.
And the production on this album is one thing that I have to mention because this shit was fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I want to see more production like this. Like when Real Life started. And anytime I listen to Real Life, the very first track on Beauty Behind the Madness, like, I'm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that song, like, really sets the tone, I feel like. And the Weeknd is obviously doing his singing thing. There are some songs on here that I think the overall, everything about it, the production, the singing, everything is great, but the sound just doesn't, fall in place, I don't think.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that when we talk about the top 3 and bottom 3 tracks. But essentially, I think the album, if you're a Weeknd fan, you're going to like it, of course. The first time you listen to it, you're probably going to be blown away. But any time other than that, I can't really tell for you. But for me, it's kind of died down. What do you think about it?
I like it. I was just driving around before picking you up, and I was getting my final thoughts about every song, and I think I might have to scratch out a song from my bottom.
Okay.
Beauty Behind the Madness, I feel like that's a great album name.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because this album, it's everywhere. It's a mixture.
That's one thing
of sounds.
I wanted to say. This album is far from cohesive. Yeah. Everything else he's put out has been cohesive. Mm-hmm. Even Trilogy, which is a mixture of different projects, even had a cohesive sound to it.
Yep.
Kissland had a cohesive sound. This is fucking everywhere. This has hints of the old Weeknd with songs like The Hills.
Yep.
This has, Can't Feel My Face type Weeknd with Can't Feel My Face and In the Night. It's got just a bunch of different fucking sounds in there. And I really feel like this was Abel trying to say, all right, well, let me see what works. Let me see what I like to do. He just sort of put out a little bit of everything. And I think he'll find a new Weeknd with his next album or project, whatever he decides to do.
That's why I feel like Beauty Behind the Madness is a perfect name for the album because, like you said, it's a mixture of everything. He's trying out new sounds, new techniques, but at the end of the day, he continues with the raw, explicit lyrics that we're used to,
Exactly. All right, so did you want to hop right into the top? And
Yeah,
bottom?
let's hop into the
All
top
right.
and bottom. I'm gonna let you go first. What do you want to start off with?
I'm gonna start off with my top 3,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have to go with Real Life.
Real life.
Is top 3. That fucking song is so good.
I like the beginning.
That song is like.
Oh man.
So when I start Beauty Behind the Madness, sometimes I'll want to listen to a specific song that I'll talk about in a little bit.
All right.
And sometimes, because fucking Apple Music is just the worst fucking program of all time, it'll just start playing from the beginning by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And right before I can switch the song, I hear, and I can't skip it. Like, as soon as that first guitar chord comes in, I'm like, I have to listen to the song.
You have to.
That song is so fucking good. And the hook and everything is just immaculate on it. I really love that song. Real Life gives me chills, man. The first time I heard it, my jaw dropped to the floor and I fucking got out of my chair and I was hyped the fuck up. I was just like, this shit is too fucking good. I was like, I was crying like that dude from the Drake verse. I was like, it can't go this hard, man. I couldn't fucking believe it, man. Shit was so good. But number 2 is gonna have to be Shameless. I think this is like a lot of people's one of their top favorite songs on here. This song, man, I think speaks to a lot of people. Especially speaks to me. Like, he's, what the Weeknd's talking about is he's gonna go back to this girl because he's just shameless like that, and like everything he speaks, like there's another song on here that I did want to talk about. That'll be again later, but he just like it's always amazing to me how an artist can grab what I'm saying or like what I'm feeling and just say it in so many words, and I'm just like, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you have that emotion
Yep.
that you can't describe, and then you have this artist that comes along and just says everything you mean. The Weeknd usually doesn't do that for me since he's usually rapping or singing about more drug use and stuff like that, and I don't really do drugs. But there are occasions where he'll say something and I'm just like, this, like, you know what I mean? Like, that is perfect. And Shameless is like that song that I wanted to go to, like every time I start Beauty Behind the Madness, and sometimes, Real Life will play, and that's fine. And then my third favorite song, Tell Your Friends.
Yeah.
Produced by Kanye.
Go tell your friends
West.
about it.
That song is so good. And I like it just because, like, the whole album is very big in scale with the production and everything. And then you have this Kanye production.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's Kanye when you hear the fucking beat. And it's just like, I like this. It's so smooth, and it reminds me a little bit of Jukebox Joints on A$AP's album because of the beat.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that sound, and I really wish Kanye would make a lot more beats like that for his own music. But man, hearing this, like, it brought me back to like late registration, graduation era, and hearing The Weeknd's fucking beautiful voice on that shit, I was down.
Did you watch the video?
I have not watched the video yet.
Oh my god. You know how Can't Feel My Face in the Hills, they all connect?
Yeah.
That video is like the final piece to it.
Oh, for real?
And you're gonna like it.
Oh, shit,
I don't want to ruin it for you, but
okay.
your mouth's gonna drop because when I saw it today, first time watching it today, I was like,
All right.
my mouth dropped.
So that even
I'm gonna
proves
let
it.
you know.
Tell your friends. It's top 3. But yeah, why don't you say your top 3?
All right, my top 3. My top song, Chris, you took the words out of my mouth. Shameless. Shameless is definitely, in my opinion, the top song on this album right here. I definitely feel like a lot of people can relate to this track right here, especially me.
Yeah.
First time hearing it, it definitely stuck in my head, and I remember when I first put up, I was blown away with Beauty Behind the Madness. Shameless was the one song that just stuck in my head after listening to it. And it definitely reminds me of like an old situation that I was going through.
And that hook is so good.
I love the hook.
Say it. What did he say? Say it.
Say it louder, say it louder. Who's gonna love you like me?
Oh my
Like
god,
me.
that is so good, dude. Oh man.
Who's gonna fuck you like me? I fucking love this song so much because it just reminds me a lot about situations that I've been through, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people could relate to that as well.
Absolutely.
All right, number 2, I gotta go with Acquainted.
I wanted to put that on there.
I gotta
like,
go with
that
Acquainted.
song. Like the reason why I didn't make it for me is because I don't think the lyrics were as relatable as some of the other things. But as a song, like the way it sounds, oh man, it sounds good. But
I love this song. I don't know if you can relate to it, but I feel like this song reminds me of like a more slow, mellow type version of The Hills. Like when I heard the hook, kind of reminded me of The Hills just a little bit.
All right.
I'm not sure if it was that song, but towards the end it had a guitar solo.
Yep, that's that song.
I love that part.
I actually just noticed that guitar solo today. I was listening to that. And I don't know why. I guess my mind just went elsewhere once he stopped singing or whatever. But then the guitar solo kicks in at the end, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's pretty dope."
And my number 3 for the top 3, Tell Your Friends.
That song is
Tell
really
Your
good.
Friends. I really love that song. Definitely love the video. All I gotta say is watch The Hills and watch Can't Feel My Face, then watch Tell Your Friends. Watch it in that order, and then you'll understand what he's trying to paint. Kanye definitely killed his production. A lot of people, I feel like they definitely sleep on his production. Kanye is really good at that. I feel like this song, 10, 15 years down the line, it's still going to be played by a lot of people. And with this track, he's definitely taking it back to 2011 when he first started talking with the explicit, the raw material that we're all used to hearing. I even wrote down a couple lines that he said, some dope dimes on some coke lines, and don't believe the rumors, bitch, I'm still a user. Like shit
And
like that.
I love this fucking hook. He's like, I'm that nigga with the hair popping pills. Fuck, I forgot what he
Fucking
said.
bitches, some
And
shit.
so true. I'm just like, oh shit. Like that beat goes so in.
So that's top 3 right there. Tell Your Friends, Acquainted, number 1, Shameless.
Alright, now we're gonna get on to the bottom 3. And here's a song I did not think was gonna go on the bottom 3. I actually just decided while I was talking about my top 3 that this was bottom 3.
Okay.
And it was while I was talking about how songs, like, I can relate to it so much, but just the sound doesn't work.
Okay.
And one song is As You Are.
All
When I
right.
first heard As You Are, I really thought this was like the best song on the album. And the reason why is because I didn't listen to anything else but what Abel was saying. And I guess that's what he's going for on the song. And when I was listening to it, I was just like, literally, like, this is one of those instances where he literally says everything I feel. Like, every line in this song, I think, I can relate to with a previous situation. And it fucking blew me away. But this just goes to show you that no matter how good like your lyrics are or what you're saying is or what your message is, if it doesn't sound good as like a song, then like it's not going to hit with most people. And this isn't getting replayed by me a lot because it's not really, it doesn't really sound like a great song to me. Maybe if I go through a similar situation again, or if I, I'm in my feelings again or some shit, maybe this will be a song I'll go to and it'll mean a lot more to me. But as for right now, I'm in a pretty good spot. It reminds me of a previous situation, so like I can connect to it on that level, but as a song I just can't really fuck with it.
All right.
Our next bottom track is Prisoners featuring Lana Del Rey. This is another song that I think falls victim to As You Are's problem. It's a great song, I just don't think it sounds good. And this is a huge problem for a lot of artists. The Weeknd usually doesn't have this problem, which is why I ended up realizing that on this album, it's not as good as I thought, because a lot of the songs, while the production is crazy, it doesn't sound good. Like, you can have great production, great everything, but it just does not come together. And I don't think Prisoners comes together that well. Another one that almost doesn't come together is In the Dark, featuring Ed Sheeran, but that song is just too fucking good. Like, there's no way I'm putting that. Dark Times. What'd I say?
You said In the Dark. I think you confused it with In the Night.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And funny thing, In the Night was originally supposed to be a bottom 3 song.
Okay.
But I took it out for As You Are, because In the Night, like, before you came to pick me up, I was just singing In the Night, and then I'm just like, I just can't be bottom 3. But As You Are, definitely, not As You Are, Prisoners just didn't really do it for me. That's the song I skip 100% of the time. I don't listen to that song. I listen to it like 3 times, don't listen to it ever again. And the last song that's on my bottom 3 is something I didn't think was going to go on there, because when I first finished the album, I was like, wow, this was an amazing song, and what a great finish. And it's the last song, Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the reason why is because while Angel is a very, very beautiful song and a great way to end the album,
most definitely,
it's not really a good song in its own right. I mean, it's very, very repetitive. There's not much being said there. And usually that's not really a bad thing, because Kanye West has a lot of songs where he's repeating the same exact thing. I'm looking at Street Lights, RoboCop, stuff like that, where he's repeating the same thing over and over. But for some reason, even though he's using auto-tune and it sounds all fake and whatever, it just has a bit more of a melody to me, whereas this song just feels like grand and epic, like a grand, epic end to Behind the Madness, which is exactly what it should have been. So I don't dislike the song because it doesn't fit in with the album or anything. In fact, I think this ties up the album beautifully, and it's masterfully done to tie up the album. But as a song by itself, I'm just not listening to it that much.
All right, understandable.
All right, go ahead.
Bottom 3. Let's see, I might have to cross one of these out, because when I was listening to it again, I'm like, it can't be a bottom. Can't be a bottom. But let me just mention one of the bottoms that you already mentioned, As You Are.
As You Are.
That song, it loses its focus throughout the rest of the songs on the album. Really didn't sink in as much. Originally, I had In the Night at the bottom, but I'm taking that out. I listened to it, and there's definitely a lot of MJ vibes to that song. A lot of MJ vibes.
If you thought Can't Feel My Face was MJ vibes, this is straight up could have been on an MJ album. Straight up.
And In the Night is very R&B-ish. You know, it's not the sound that we're used to hearing from him. So when I first heard it, I wasn't feeling it, but I had to give it a few more listens. And I definitely like it, because I hear the MJ vibes a lot. So let's see.
Before you continue, As You Are was another song, or not another song, but I wanted to mention something about it, is that it feels like a very early 2000s R&B track, I think, with the production. It just feels very, very early 2000s. And to me, I think early 2000s music is not that good. Like, it was good for its time, I guess. That's the music I grew up on or whatever. But anytime I think back to it, I just think back to a bunch of corny-ass R&B songs. And the production just reminds me of that. Of course, the lyrics are nothing like that, but that's just another thing that pops into my head when that song comes on.
So when it comes to the bottom, I'm taking In the Night out, and I was listening to another song. I was really battling between the two, so I'm going to replace it with Prisoner.
Prisoner?
Yeah, Prisoner with Lana Del Rey. And then my third song, I'll go with Dark Times, just because it really hasn't sink into me. And I've never heard of the featured artist before, Ed.
You've never heard of him, or you never listened to his songs?
I've never listened to him. I'm pretty sure I've heard of him before, but
you've never heard of Ed Sheeran.
It sounds familiar, but it just doesn't really ring a bell.
I don't know how that song can be bottom 3. I mean, I guess it's like a very simple, stripped down song. There's not much going on, but I think the concept is awesome. I don't know. I fuck with that song. I like it a lot.
Like I said, when it comes to the bottom, it's mostly songs that really haven't sunk into my head yet. But once I give it a few more listens, then I might reconsider changing the top and the bottom. So that's my bottom 3 right there.
All right, but that's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Top 3 and bottom 3 from both of us. What's your top 3, bottom 3 tracks on the Weeknd? What did you think of it as a whole, actually? Let us know in the comment section down below. Are you a Weeknd fan? Are you now a Weeknd fan? What's going on? For us, I liked it, but it's not something that I was amazed by. But there's a few songs on here that'll get some rotation, I think. But as a whole, I don't think this album's really going to be getting played a lot.
As for me, it's the opposite. I feel like I'm definitely going to play this all the time.
All right.
I don't care if I'm feeling happy, if I'm down, I'm playing this all day. Beauty Behind the Madness, projected first week sales, 250,000 copies.
It got updated.
It got updated?
Over 300K.
Over 300K.
300, I think it was 325 to 350K or 350 to 375.
Including streams?
I'm not including streams, I don't think. It's just album sales.
For The Weeknd, that is ridiculous because
This man blew the fuck up.
Kissland, its first week was 95, 96K.
This man blew the fuck up.
This
dude.
album, 300,000. 2015, been a great year. Great year for
Absolutely.
The Weeknd. And the future just seems bright for
Honestly,
him.
maybe if this album came out like sometime like last year, where there wasn't that many good musical releases, maybe I would have liked it more. But we've gotten amazing fucking projects this year, so maybe my expectations were a little high. But one last thing I did want to mention on this album is I fucking hate the fact that we got more than... We got about half the fucking album before the album even came out.
That's another thing too, yeah.
That's like when I'm listening to this album, I'm really only listening to half of it because I've heard Often so many times. I've heard Earned It so many times.
The
Can't Feel My
Hills.
Face, The Hills. I've listened to these songs almost probably upward 100 times now. I don't want to listen to them again.
Yeah.
And I was really fucking disappointed that half of the fucking album we've already heard. And Often, which came out like what, last fucking year? That's inexcusable to me, dude. In my opinion, that's what makes me feel like this was just he grabbed a bunch of different sounds and put them together in an album and sort of wanted to test the water to see where he was at in terms of his pop culture reference or relevance even, and to see where he was at in terms of his music and what he wanted to go forward with and see, maybe what his fans liked or whatever. And so his fans are a bunch of fucking bitches. I fucking hate the Weeknd fans. All you niggas are bitches. Oh my god, why doesn't he want to kill himself? And shut the fuck up. Let the man live, man. Let him make the music he wants to make. You don't have to like it. His old shit is still right there and it's still just as fucking great. Go listen to it. If you want a good alternative to the Weeknd, check out my man Johnny Rain. This is one of those artists that can take anything that I'm feeling and he puts that shit into words and it's fucking beautiful. You might fucking cry listening to this man's music. He's a great alternative to the Weeknd. If you miss the older Weeknd, he's like the Weeknd and Frank Ocean fusion. I definitely highly recommend checking him out. But I mean, the Weeknd, he's transforming and he's becoming a big fucking star for it and he deserves every bit of success because this man is fucking talented out of his fucking ass. He deserves everything and more, man.
All right, that about wraps it up. Beauty Behind the Madness, second album, The Weeknd. If you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out. For another episode, it's your boy Truth.
It's your boy Eazy. You know all my links: Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YC Flow Easy.
All my social media down below.
All right, everybody, have a good one, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.